Good afternoon. Welcome to our Thursday Live. I hope you all are amazing and are experiencing a fabulous February until this point, and I hope that it will just get more fabulous from this point onwards. It's lovely for me to be back. I'm Nadine Vosloo, better known as Mama Tjhoko, and my life mission is to give inspiration and to inspire creativity. So that's why I'm here today from a beautiful South Africa. So to my fellow South Africans, welcome. To all those of you that are watching from different places around the world, welcome. Welcome to a friendly, warm, funny, lovely South Africa. To our family and friends in Switzerland, Australia, New Zealand, Mauritius, Ireland, Scotland, wherever you are watching from. Dubai, if I've missed someone, feel welcome. Sit back, relax, enjoy, and find inspiration to do something creative in your own space. You are in my house, you will hear dogs bark. This is informal, a fun and creative session, just as creativity should be. Fun, creative, and free. So, for those of you that are watching from other countries, in South Africa, we have the most beautiful, beautiful treasures. Nature, people, color. We're a rainbow nation, and so is the story of Tjhoko as well. And then we have something so enjoyable called load shedding. Now, I can't think why this only happens in South Africa. It's actually something that should be implemented around the world, because when it's load shedding, you cannot cook, you cannot listen to music most of the times, you cannot worry about the meaningless things in life, but you can be creative. And as I was going to the bathroom the other evening, and I've said many times, that's actually the only time I can find to think, because life is hectic and busy. I saw that there's this one thing in my bathroom that I have never even given a thought of Tjhokoing. And it's actually I think there's a gap in the market for something that can be done to this, and this is a room spray bottle. Anything and everything in my house has been Tjhokoed already, but not the room spray bottle. So today I'm going to give you inspiration when it's creative time, next time during load shedding. And those of you in other parts of the world, just switch off the lights sometime and just feel the peace it brings to you. You can buy takeouts, you can relax and be creative. So in my house during load shedding times, we use the utensils, cutlery, for being creative. And now we are going to start with a journey. So first step is remove the cover of your room spray bottle. If it is a plastic bottle, I'll share steps. Tjhoko can be applied to metal, and the first step is lacquer thinners. So that is the spelling of the thinners should be used. Make sure to wear gloves, work in a well-ventilated space. I am going to show you, or rather not, because it will just create fumes. So you clean the bottle, dip the cloth while you wear gloves in the thinners, and properly wipe the metal clean. Areas like this, where there's still glue, you can use some sanding paper. 100 grit piece of sanding paper, more than sufficient. Sorry for the noise because the mic is sitting close. And I just remove any glue from my room spray bottle, and it's clean, it has been wiped, it's oil free, and now the creativity is going to start. My guest toilet and bathroom is painted in Maestro. So I thought creative crystal, and this is the first color that I'm going to work with. There you can see it. So greens inspires creativity. Crystal is our creative fundi in the factory and in the office with words and her design work. So she owns that color. That's part of the Tjhoko story, is we empower and our employees are part of a family business. Okay, next color I'm going to use, Super Sunette. And Sunette, I had a very beautiful conversation with you this week, and you so own your Tjhoko color, your heart, your passion. If ever you are in Nelspruit, which is a beautiful little town in South Africa, make sure to go visit Nadine, and you will find Sunette, Super Sunette there. She is super creative and a superhuman. So I have more or less added equal quantities creative crystal and Super Sunette to a paint tray, and I mix the colors together. So with Tjhoko, yes, you can mix colors together to create your own tone. And the reason why I'm adding Super Sunette and creative crystal together is just to mute creative crystal. Okay, so I've mixed the two colors together. I use a normal paintbrush. This is a Hamilton's 38mm fiberglass brush, and I have my clean bottle. Before I'm going to paint it, I'm going to share a tip. So with Tjhoko, yes, you can paint metal, but you can also paint plastic. The steps for painting plastic is the following. First of all, you need to sand the plastic, and I'm also going to use a 100 grit piece of sandpaper. And what I do is I roughen the plastic so it's not smooth anymore, but it has a texture. And this is exactly the steps for painting onto plastic with Tjhoko. So when I move my finger over the plastic, I can immediately feel the areas that still need some sanding, and then I sand. The next step will be, it's not something I'm going to do now due to fumes, is I'll wipe after I've sanded well, just to create some roughness. I'll clean it with lacquer thinners. Okay, so load shedding is lacquer, the thinners is lacquer. In Afrikaans, if something is nice, you say it's lacquer. So everything is lacquer here in South Africa, Afrikaans word for the day. We have a question. Yes, Kaylee, ask the question.
Hoi almal, ek het 'n vraag asseblief. Wanneer Tjhoko op lap gebruik word, maak dit die lap hard. Sal die lap hard word na die tyd.
Goed. There's a question. When Tjhoko is used on fabric, does the fabric get hard? So you get different textiles, different compositions of materials that make up a certain textile. So first of all, we say make sure when you paint onto fabrics that you test the texture first once the paint has dried. It's very difficult to know what the composition of fabric is that you're working on. So you get a certain percentage polyester, certain percentage cotton, and all of those has an impact on the way that the paint dries onto the fabric. So first, very important step, test. Test an area on the fabric where you want to paint. Allow for the paint to dry before you attempt an entire project. We have a website with FAQs where you can type in painting fabric, and all the answers will be available there. Then we also have a YouTube channel called Tjhoko Paint on YouTube, where we share different techniques. So maybe pop us an email, support@tjokopaint.co.za. You send us a picture of the piece of fabric that you want to paint. If it's something that's upholstered, we recommend natural fibers, firmly upholstered, because paint can only stretch to a certain extent. And if there's a lot of movement in your foam, the paint over time will crack. So there's a few pointers that's important with fabric. It's not a straightforward answer, but if you want to paint, make sure it's natural woven fabric. Test first to see how the paint dries on the specific piece of fabric that you're painting onto. Okay, but we have a support email, support@tjokopaint.co.za, where we give assistance 24/7 almost. We have to sleep sometime as well. Okay, so next step. On my metal fiber brush with the paint that I have just mixed, I'm going to paint. And I'll move closer for Kaylee. So I paint onto my metal. Please note this is a first coat. I will apply a second coat. Important with coat applications, make sure your first coat has dried well, more or less 40 minutes, before you start applying the second coat. Coastal areas, times of the day when it's very humid, cold, when it's raining, everything takes longer to cure and to dry. And I'm going to hold it close. There you can see it's a beautiful finish and only the first coat. Okay. Over here, I have a room spray bottle that has received 2 coats. Okay, next I'm going to do a stencil technique. Now with stenciling, tips, very little paint. Very little paint is important, and then the next very important tip is to use a stencil brush. It has short, stiff bristles, and it just gives a beautiful end result to your stencil work. I have a beautiful Kaylee in front of me that reminds me to smile. I cannot even imagine doing Thursday Lives without her. So what I'm busy doing is I'm mixing. Let me do it in here where I can clearly show what I'm doing. So what I'm doing is I'm in my paint tray, I'm applying Creative Crystal, and on my stencil brush I've added some black because now I want Creative Crystal to be darker. I'm actually going to add two splashes of paint on my paint tray. So there's a darker version just to create some excitement on my stencil work. And then over here I'm just drying and cleaning my stencil brush. Please note I'm not washing it in water. You really want a very dry stencil brush when it comes to stencil work. On this end of my paint tray I'm just going to apply Creative Crystal, not mixed with anything. Okay, so stencil tip. I have a stencil brush. There's some paint on it, but to achieve success with your stencil work, your stencil brush really needs to be dry. So I'm removing any excess paint from my stencil brush. And just to test to make sure if my stencil brush is dry enough, I'm painting on my hand. And if you see streaks like this, you know you are safe to continue with your stencil work. Next step, if you want to stencil something that has a round cylinder form, it's important that you select a stencil with design work that is intact. So if I move my stencil around, you can see everything stays in position. There aren't any pieces that lift when I move my stencil in a circular motion. Okay, so this stencil will be perfect for a round stencil application. I twist my stencil around my room spray bottle. My paint is still fairly new. Another tip, you can't apply masking tape on newly painted surfaces. The masking tape will lift the paint. So I'm just going to hold it in position, and Kaylee will zoom in that the process makes sense. This is now done on something simple as a room spray bottle, but the process remains the same. Whether it's on a wall, whether it's on a furniture piece, whether it's a tablecloth, like the linen tablecloth I'm working on. It's a beautiful, beautiful surface to do stencil work on. Please check out our YouTube channel. We have shared some inspiration with stencil work done on pillowcases, on tablecloths, even on duvet covers. So I'm just going to twist my bottle around. Very little paint on my stencil brush. I'm going to do house visits, people. And for the life of me, if I visit your guest toilet and there's not a chocolate room spray bottle in there, big troubles, big troubles. And if anyone can design us beautiful ones and put them out for retail, I think a definite gap in the market. Okay, are you ready for the reveal? So there, I stopped there, but there you can see my stencil work. Is it clear, Kaylee? Okay, Kaylee listens, because we usually had a Yaku Junior that assisted with Thursday Lives, and I can't believe I ever complained, because now I miss him so badly. He has joined a tertiary institution. He went to varsity, and I can't say more because then the tears will flow. I miss my child. I so badly wish he just does something naughty, that I don't miss him so badly, but that I'm actually cross with him and just feel better. Okay, so next I'm going to use a transfer. So we're actually doing a layering technique. And this can be done on a furniture piece. It can be done on a tray. It can be done on a picture frame. It can be done on a lampshade. So although I'm using a very, what is the word? A very simple item today. The techniques can be used on almost anything. So the transfer I'm using is transfer 15, and if you want me to translate these words, it says smile, be happy, enjoy life, be creative, love what you do, and if you want it to mean something different, you just make up your own stories. It is a beautiful script design. Kaylee has cut it for me already, smaller, so it actually fits around my project, and I'm dipping it in water. And while there's just normal tap water. So my transfer is resting in some tap water, and while this is developing, so what happens, the backing has the glue on it, and the front piece is just see-through with a design on it. And the water helps the backing to slide loose from the front, and it just takes some time. While this is happening, there's a question, and Kaylee's going to read it for me, and I'm going to reply.
How do we wash the stencils?
Okay, the question is, how do we wash the stencils? So once I am done, just make sure that there is warm, soapy water in a basin, and you can use something like the coarse side of a kitchen sponge, and just carefully wash it with water and soap, and then you reuse and reuse and reuse. Okay, so it's still developing. It's just normal tap water. Okay, so while this is still developing, I'm just being patient. We have a beautiful chocolate shampooer. But saying that, each and every one of you that entered Tjhoko Champs 2022, you all are winners. Thank you for the most beautiful, inspirational entries. I wish that I could give each one of you a first prize, to share your projects, to take the time to do it, and to share the steps with us. It has just been amazing. Unfortunately, this is life, and sometimes I don't agree with life, but there can only be one winner, and our winner is Carla. Carla with a beautiful green kitchen. Well done. Well done to all the finalists that received Tjhoko hampers, and to our second prize winner. You are all amazing. Each one of you that entered, and each one of you that's part of our community. Thank you for sharing your amazing, amazing projects on Tjhoko Creations. Okay, before I answer the next question, I'm going to apply my transfer. So now you can see that the transfer is loose and it can move on the snotterige backing. That's also Afrikaans word for today, snotterig. So what I do, let me remove the water, is I am going to keep it in position, and Kaylee, you just focus here so that the process makes sense. And while I remove the backing, I also make sure that I press out any greases, any air. So this is a simple item, but it can create a beautiful design element on a furniture piece. Think of those chest of drawers. Can you see the patience I'm working with? And it is well rewarded at the end. So I just make sure all air is removed. My finger is also wet, so it actually slides on the wet transfer. And there it's done, from beginning to end. What I will do next is I will allow for the transfer to dry completely, more or less an hour, and I will paint undiluted clear glaze on top. So I'm just going to show the process so it makes sense. I dip an artist brush in my clear glaze and I just paint on top of my transfer just to make sure that everything is secure. So this creates a sealed transfer effect. Okay. An hour after the transfer application. Okay, now in terms of the top. So last night I looked at it and I thought, you can't stay like that. It's a giveaway. We want to hide the toilet spray giveaway. So what we are going to do, you've sanded, you've cleaned well with lacquer thinners. You use your cutlery that you can't use because you can't cook. You can only be creative when it's load shedding, people. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the backing of my transfer. I'm scooping out just a little bit. I'm adding a little bit of my super sonnet that's still on my spoon in there. I use my artist brush, I mix it through, and I just want to create texture on the plastic. So this is Stencil of Paris on plastic. If you wanted to paint it, you could paint it as well, because you have sanded and you have cleaned, and I just create texture. Okay, sorry Kaylee. Is it better? And you can move around to create texture. If you want to add some drama, or just more drama, you can also just use some paint and just dab it onto your Stencil of Paris.
Nadine, while you're doing that, we have 3 questions.
Okay.
Ask them. So, can the transfers also be used on walls? Is the first question.
The transfers, okay, the first question is, can the transfers be used on walls? Absolutely. So make sure your wall has a very smooth finish. I think that's the only important part, so that you can actually remove all the air bubbles underneath. Absolutely. How amazing will that be if you do like a multimedia finish on a wall to create a focal wall, just a smooth plastered wall. So yes, it can be used. Follow the same steps. I would just on a wall surface, glaze underneath, allow for the glaze to dry after you've painted, glaze as well. Apply, once the glaze has dried, do your transfer application, and once the transfer is dry, glaze again. So I will just add a glaze step between the paint, after the paint has dried, and before the transfer is applied. Okay, Kaylee, does that make sense, the answer? Okay, next question.
Next question, can the transfer work on cups and fabric like t-shirts?
Can the transfer work on cups and fabrics like t-shirts? So the cups can work if they are not, if it's for decorative purposes, not to use in your dishwasher or to actually use. So decorative, yes. T-shirts, I need help. I have not tried that before. If anyone has, please assist with this answer or allow me some time to test for you. I'm worried about the washing and how actually you will set it afterwards without applying glaze to fabric. I'm not sure. I'll have to come back to you with a test result or someone that has done it with the yays and the nays. So time is needed to reply to that answer. Next question, Kaylee.
Okay, where do you buy the transfers?
So the next question is, where do you buy the transfers? So the transfers are available. It's part of the Tjhoko range. So if you visit your nearest stockist on our website, Tjhoko Paint, Tjhoko Paint, there is a shop page where all the transfers, all the stockists. So let's go to stockists first. On our website, there's a stockist tab. So you click on stockists, you type in your area, and all the stockists closest to you will appear. Their contacting details are there, their addresses are there, so you can phone them, ask them if they have the specific stock that you're looking for. If not, you can ask them to order for you. If you want to shop online, we have an online shopping option. Go to the website, click on shop, go to the transfer page, and you order there. But first step, we always try to support our stockist and to direct our family members there, because with Tjhoko you become family. Yes, Kaylee.
The last question, can it be done on glass doors?
Glass doors, yeah, I think it can. My mom is sitting here. I'm not allowed to say they're here because then we will all cry. It's actually the first live that they are with me in the background. My mom has done it to a glass door, and then I'm sure she only also applied the glaze afterwards to make sure that it's intact. Can I confirm the process that was followed, or if anyone else has tried that, please assist. Okay, next question. Okay. So mainly, I have done it on items like canvases, a canvas that you use as an art form. I've done it on furniture pieces. You can use it to create art within a picture frame. Beautiful. And a multimedia. Beautiful on furniture items. Okay, so this is now the Stencil of Paris step, and this is actually just to create texture so that the plastic shiny piece is hidden. Also, something that I haven't mentioned is color is a personal choice. So obviously you will work with colors that make you happy. We live in a time where there aren't any prescriptions, aren't any specific decor trends or styles. We live in times where you can do what makes you happy, so just do it. And once everything is dry, all that I have done to hide the joint between plastic and metal is I have applied some rope. You can use a glue gun. My glue gun was at the shop, so I've just tied the ropes at the back, because this actually sits against the wall. There's a beautiful mood shot that I've taken this morning that will be shared by Crystal. There's one more question, and I'm so happy for all the questions. Let's listen and I'll answer to the best of my ability.
Can the Stencil of Paris be used on glass doors?
Absolutely yes. So the question is, can the Stencil of Paris be used on glass doors? Yes. We stencil our glass doors. We have so many ideas and inspiration of Stencil of Paris on glass and windows on the Tjhoko Creations page. Just a tip that I do want to share: when you do the Stencil of Paris application, especially stencil work, not something creative and rough as this, do it at a time of the day where temperatures are falling. So don't do it 10 o'clock in the morning and temperatures are still rising. Do it late in the afternoon when temperatures are dropping, so that the stencil of Paris can actually dry at cooler temperatures. Because when it's hot, it's a solid, it expands, and that's when you see hairline cracks appear. Okay, don't do it on a warm glass door. Make sure that it's in the shade at a time of day when everything is cool, so that the drying and cooling down process can happen with patience and slowly. Okay, any more questions, Kaylee? Okay, so to all of you out there, we have a stunning YouTube channel where we share ideas, tips. We are also soon going to film an entire How to Tjhoko 101 series. We are working hard, we are hard busy with the planning process. So please, it's a free channel. It's there for everyone to make sure that inspiration is given and ideas are given freely. Join our YouTube channel, subscribe, turn on your notifications, click that bell thing, everything that needs to be done to receive notifications. You will really benefit from it. Then for the week ahead, until we see each other again, my message is for you to slow down and enjoy the simple pleasures in life. Simple. Things can be simple and it can still make you happy. Stop worrying about big stuff. It was a happy time for me. I enjoyed being here. May you have such an awesome week. Till we meet again, I'm going now to enjoy time with my parents, and I miss my son and husband that's together. Lots of love to you all. See you again soon. Bye.